I was just told that they'd be an addict. That was straight up. You made your child an addict and he's an addict forever.
I felt really good when I first made the decision, and it was other people that were saying things about the program that really bothered me and had me thinking, oh, maybe I didn't do the right thing.
I have people that I can talk to, but sometimes I'm scared to talk to them because I'm scared they're gonna call child protection and I'm gonna lose my son.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Who can I speak to about being a pregnant woman who's in need of methadone treatment?
One of the things we find is that women are very fearful. They're frightened, and they're fearful of being judged, and fear of any harm that they may be causing to their baby.
I've been told by so many people that since he's already an addict, since he's born, he's gonna have that in the back of his head for the rest of his life.
But he's not. The way that brains work is not consistent at all with that message. So yeah, he was born physically, chemically dependent. That's a different thing than being an addict. You can be chemically dependent and not addicted.
If you're in the methadone maintenance program, you're probably at a better place than you were before that. Whatever brought you to the methadone maintenance program, it was a decision, a good decision, because if you were using illegal opioids prior to that, you had a lot riskier lifestyle.
When we're talking opiates, we're talking pain medications. Things with codeine, so Tylenol 3 is an opiate, and they're short-acting opiates. So they need to take them every 4 to 6 hours not to have withdrawal.
It becomes such a cycle that there's the potential for a person to actually miscarry, because we know that when people are having withdrawal from these substances, that the uterine contractions can actually cause a person to not go to full term.
Methadone itself is an opiate, but it's a long-acting opiate. It covers you for 24 to 36 hours. So when you're on methadone, you don't go through the withdrawal several times a day like you would when you're taking short-acting opiates.
I get sweaty, I get restless legs, I shake, I get cold, warm too fast, I can't keep my body temperature stable.
Every symptom of the flu, just like a million times worse.
Yeah.
Most people can't even get out of bed.
And I think the babies go through the exact same thing while they're in your body, like while you're withdrawing.
Neonatal abstinence syndrome is a constellation of symptoms that happens in babies who have been exposed to different drugs during prenatal care and during the pregnancy. Most moms do realize that there are going to be some consequences from the exposure during pregnancy. They're not always aware of the extent of the symptoms, how long the treatment will take, and just how hard it will be to be basically stuck in the hospital while their infant is treated.
The whole time I was pregnant, the only thing I was really told was expect your child, your baby, to go through withdrawal, maybe, and there's a chance that they could and there's a chance that they might not. I had no clue myself what was going to take place after I had the baby. I didn't know if he was going to be taken away as soon as I had him to be like special care. I didn't know if he was going to be with me. I had no clue. No idea.
I think it's really important for mothers, families really, to be prepared ahead of time as to what to expect. All babies are different. They're not going to have exactly the same symptoms and exactly the same severity, but we can give them what most babies experience.
The mother, we try to introduce early on to these signs that the baby might be experiencing withdrawal so that the mother can monitor, along with the nurse, for signs of withdrawal. And so together they watch for those and they score them. So we have a scoring sheet. And if the baby's score becomes high, then that can be an indication of a need for treatment. Now, when the treatment is started, because morphine is a sedating drug, we bring the baby into the nursery and we put the baby on a monitor. Once the baby then is stable on the morphine, then we immediately start slowly cutting the dose back. We wean the morphine as quickly as is safe and reasonably comfortable for the babies. And then as soon as the baby's safely off the morphine, moms take them home.
I was discharged after 2 days. Personally, I was discharged, but my son was still in the hospital. So they have a care by parent room where you're allowed to stay. They'll feed you, you got a place to sleep, you can be in the hospital at all times, which is really great. Like, I thought that was fantastic. He got discharged about 4 weeks after he was born with no withdrawal symptoms, happy as a clam.
The research so far is telling us that there's no lasting damage. We know that we don't like to take any medication in pregnancy. We don't like to give medicine to our babies. But there are some drugs that are more dangerous than others, and methadone seems to be one of those ones that's at the safe end of the spectrum. So it's as safe a treatment as we could imagine.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for keeping me safe. I know about the extra care that you've been looking for, and I've been hearing people talking about your past. I forgive you. You made this decision for us. I'm proud of you, Mom. Okay, we gotta stop for a second. I'm gonna cry.
I'm proud of you too, Mom.
Often stigma will come from people being ill-informed about what the program is.
People don't understand that a woman who's on methadone is actually in recovery. There's certain criteria they have to fit to actually stay within the program. So that includes not engaging in other substance use during the time that they're in the methadone program. So they're in counseling and they're followed very closely in terms of their dose and their titration. So it's far more controlled in terms of what they're exposed to than if they were using drugs from the street or elsewhere.
When babies in withdrawal just first became on our radar, some physicians, even some nursing staff was taken aback. Like, how could she do that to her baby? And, oh, that's awful, and she shouldn't have her baby, and how could you do this? And that poor baby. But we did a lot of education around what addiction is and how being the methadone maintenance program is better than not.
We come up against some of the same stuff with antidepressants, but women are not shamed for being on, their Zoloft or the Celexa or whatever that they need in pregnancy. But we know that those babies go through withdrawal too.
Like, there was certain nurses that did kind of treat me differently, I think, because I was on methadone.
The board that has my son's name stated on it with morphine in big letters that everybody in the NICU can see and is like, okay, so that baby is addicted to drugs. That's what everybody thinks.
It's so easy to, to put yourself down and to think you could do better. You could, be that mom who is eating exactly what they should and getting that right amount of sleep and the right amount of exercise and reading all the right books. But anyone who's been pregnant will tell you that it's a very individual journey, and you can do all of those things and have a different outcome than what you expected.
The moms, they're doing the best they can, and I haven't met a mother yet who didn't want to do the best she could. And if we can help them through that, then that's good for everybody. It's good for the babies, it's good for the moms, it's good for the community, if whatever we can do to make it a positive thing with their baby.
Becoming a parent is a big life-changing experience, and what you learn early on is that it's not just about you anymore. When you're struggling with an addiction, that can make it difficult to make good decisions, and sometimes the addiction comes before anything else. And when you're becoming a parent, you have to be able to put your child first, and methadone makes that possible.
I had a lot of charges. Whenever I found out I was pregnant, I was up on like 15 charges. I went up against Nancy Orr for a charge, and she put me in jail. She gave me 30 days, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. She saved my life. She saved my life and my son's life. Like, I'd be dead, and my son would be too.
Best outcomes for babies, they're predicated on good supports for the mom.
If you put a bunch of people that play soccer and love soccer in a room, all they're going to talk about is soccer. So you put people that are friends and addicts in a room, it's not a good thing for me.
When it comes to true relationships, meaningful relationships, sometimes people have forgotten about what those are. What I sometimes do is I'll sit with somebody and I'll say, who do you miss? And I'll sit with them and they make a call.
Whenever I was like into drugs, like I didn't talk to my family. I didn't really see them. Ever since I had my son, me and my mom have grown so much closer. I'm so family orientated now.
My dad used to say to me, your friends aren't forever, but like we're always gonna be there no matter what. And I'd be like, no, you're not. Like, whatever. They're always gonna be by my side. And I don't talk to any of them anymore. My family are the only people that are around.
The care is there and it is readily available, and there are people that will help you out along the way. There are people that are going to judge you and bring you down, but there's way more people out there that care about you getting healthy.